back in the car here after replacing the high pressure fuel pump. We made a rip on the street and it ran good, so now we're gonna make a pull here on the dyno, see what we come up with. All right, so yesterday we did some pulls. A lot of it was me kind of relearning how to use the dyno. So we actually made some really good progress yesterday evening. We got the car to make 270 horsepower to the wheels on our dyno and 350 foot-pounds of torque, which is pretty damn good. So we are going to change some wheel speed settings on the dyno just to make sure that we're running it 1-to-1. I also put some gas in it. I think it could have been low on fuel yesterday as well. So we're about to make another pull with no other changes other than just running it in 5th gear and putting some gas in it. It's important. It's kind of a thing I do. I forget to put gas and stuff. So let's go. So we made some pretty good progress, basically changing dyno settings, and Jake also made a revision. 294 wheel horsepower, 370 foot-pounds of torque. Pretty sweet. Okay, so with the car finally all tuned, running properly, we are going to do a little more prep before we go to Englishtown this weekend to do a little testing. It'll be my first time driving the EcoBoost on a track, or drifting it for that matter. I've just driven it around on the street and on the dyno, obviously. So the plan is to swap some shocks. I got a fresh set of coilovers from BC Racing. Pretty excited about that. And a couple other little odds and ends we gotta tidy up on the car before it's ready for the track. So one of the things that we need to just button up, it shouldn't take too long, is reinstall the fire suppression stuff in the engine bay. So I have a fire suppression system in the car, back there, pull cables there, next to my shifter, and then there's another one up there by the driver's A-pillar. And so previously we had these mounted on the exhaust side of the BMW engine, which is the same as the Ford engine, and they were mounted here where our Ilaria combo tank is. So I need to kind of relocate these and replumb them in the engine bay. I'm thinking I'm going to put one underneath of here that will kind of blast onto the exhaust side, and then I'll put another one up here that will blast on what is the closest thing to a fuel system, which is this high pressure pump area here. And there we have it. Little fella shoots right at the exhaust area. This one kind of blanket covers the engine bay. So we got the BCs bolted in the back here. Fresh shocks. When I was taking the old ones out, I realized that my bolts were bent. Not sure how long they've been that way, but that one's good, but this like 12.9 Super Serious bolt, bent. Now to put the fronts on, one thing I really do like about these, the BC front shocks, is that they offer a lot of adjustability in the upper camber plate. It's not quite like one of those aftermarket ones that like moves the center of the shock into like the center line of the bolt circle, but you still have a lot of caster and camber adjustment here, so you can still get pretty damn dialed in with just what it comes with. So that's pretty awesome. Got my caster preset here, basically moving the top of the strut or center and or back, I should say, and that'll kind of kick the shock upright a little bit. And now I put the camber plate on, which is pretty straightforward. end up sitting in there, something like that, give or take. We still have to adjust the camber once we get it on the alignment rack. BC coilovers on, setting the ride height. Is that low? Kylie doesn't think so, but I think it's low enough. Elias thinks it's low. It's good. It's good, yeah. We're gonna roll with this ride height and get on the scales next. So I just looked it up on my phone. This car weighed 2,800 pounds without me in it, but with the BMW engine. Basically, we're gonna see what the weight difference is now with the EcoBoost engine, and then the bigger radiator and fan setup, and I got an intercooler hanging off the front. But otherwise, hoping it's gonna be a fair amount lighter. Let's see.
26.96.
How much do you think it weighed before?
So I think I weighed before.
How much do you think the car weighed before with the
29
BMW?
would have been my guess.
20.
It weighed 28. So you just lost 100 on the little.
106 pounds. 2,800 pounds as it is. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
106 pounds off the front of the car. Pretty good. So I'm sitting in the car while Kylie is checking the corner balance. We were at 53%. I sat in the driver's seat. It went down to 52%. That's obviously not good enough. We want to get the 50-50 cross. So I might just stay in here and he make a couple adjustments so we can get this thing dialed in as quickly as possible. I couldn't get any footage of the scaling process because I was sitting in the car, but Kylie got it dialed in, and then we put a fresh alignment on it, and that's what we're looking like right there. Pretty good. Kylie pushed on this rear bumper for me a little bit. Smashed worse than that, believe it or not. And otherwise, this thing is ready to go to Englishtown. It is now a wet and kind of misty Sunday morning on my way to Englishtown. Got the truck and trailer hooked up there. About to load the E36 in. Cross my fingers that it's not going to be too wet at Englishtown. Honestly, I feel like if it's just a little wet or patchy, won't be so bad. If it is like pouring down rain, that'll be really disappointing. But what are you gonna do? I'm going anyway. I really wanted it to be dry so I can like feel out the torque and power band of this car. In the wet, I'll learn something, but not as much as I'd like. So fingers crossed that we get a decent track conditions today. We are out here at Raceway Park in Englishtown, E36, about to make some wet laps. It's getting crowded here, actually. Good day. Yesterday was the Gambler, so a lot of leftover drivers, some Canadians here, which is cool. And while it's really wet and track conditions are not ideal, we're gonna have some fun and see how this EcoBoost does. half a dozen laps or more in the car, kind of hot lapping it. No issues so far. Getting used to the new shocks. Those BC coilovers I put on have higher spring rates, which came as a suggestion from Chelsea. And so I'm kind of getting used to that. It being raining, you know, we're like low angle, and you know, I'm just kind of feeling this thing out. It's not exactly ideal weather conditions. I'll keep saying that. I hate drifting in the rain, if I'm being honest. But I got to do what I got to do. Want to make sure that I give this thing a good thrashing today, just to make sure I don't have any problems when I drive 10 hours to Appalachia. It's all still in there. Yep. Got a little dirty, but overall, good little engine so far. Good little engine, runs good, runs cool. I'm happy with it. Great success today. I did probably like 3 dozen laps or so. Maybe not that many. I don't know. A lot of laps. I like, you know, took big breaks in between. Car worked flawlessly. You know, granted no load because it's wet out, or at least not much load, but it did start to dry out towards the end here. It was getting, you know, touches of tire smoke, and kind of got the feel, the actual torque of this thing burning some tires. And water temps didn't get over like 192, even doing like back-to-back runs, so pretty happy with that. Consumed absolutely no tires today, which is good. I don't have to buy any tires. And yeah, great test day. All the bolts are still in it, fluid's still in it, belt's still on it. Yeah, pretty happy with this thing. So, you know, I'll do a quick nut and bolt check, and you know, once over, clean the thing up for Drift Appalachia that's coming up this week. And yeah, that's it. So thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for the next one. It's probably going to be about Drift Appalachia. I'll probably do a video just on Drift Appalachia. We'll see how this thing does. Hopefully it's dry down there and I get to actually feel the power of this torquey little engine. See you next time.